Welcome to the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. My guest today is Michael Mullenmaster. Michael is a freedom activist, passionate about truth and freedom for all living beings. He is also an independent researcher and an edible landscape, food forest, and gardening consultant. Stick around. I want to introduce him to you. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hi, Nancy. Great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so excited to have you here on the show, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, can you tell us your journey into veganism?
Thank you. Yes, I'll be more than happy to share that. I feel like, I have so much fun listening to other people's stories. It's nice to be able to share mine as well. I, similar to most people, I German background for me personally, so it wasn't a meal unless it had meat on the plate. And I grew up in Germany. However, I moved back to the US when I was 16 years old. And I just slowly kind of started feeling differently. I never could put my finger on it. Mostly for me, it was digestional issues that I fought. And, as you're young and nothing can harm you kind of mentality, you just continue to go on. And when I hit my, mid 30s, if you will, in that range, I really tried to kind of self-diagnose how I could make things better. And of course, you can read all about different cleansing options that exist. And I decided to go 3 months without eating meat entirely, which took a lot of willpower, as you may know. For most people, even hearing that could be very intimidating, and it was a big deal. And as I went through that process, I felt just amazing after just a couple of weeks. And I didn't want to believe it, of course, but as you know, when you're going through this, it takes a lot of wanting to change and wanting to educate yourself. And so through different books and to speaking with people that had similar issues as myself, and having experienced it firsthand, I actually stopped after 3 months and went back, reverted back to eating my normal. It was, I was traveling with my wife. We went to her parents' place for Christmas and everything was on the table. And I really kind of slipped back into it was like, wow, this, unfortunately, I think I found it. And, but at the same time, which I can speak to, because I think for many people, maybe this holds them back to a certain degree, is when you have this happen, you feel like, or when you even consider it, you think that I'm only going to be able to eat rice and beans for the rest of my life, or only lettuce. And that's not the case at all. I feel like I've learned about so many different food varieties, and I eat better than, kings did, back in the Middle Ages. I feel like you learn so much about these other superfoods that exist that you may never have even tried. And when you do that day after day and month after month, and now year after year, I feel phenomenal. And that's the people that I speak to that have similar stories, they do kind of hold it in their top 3 things that they've done in the world that they're very proud to have accomplished. And certainly for me, I echo that, saying that I wish everyone should at least try it, but give it a real go. Sometimes maybe 1 to 2 weeks isn't enough for people to have those changes, flushing out some toxins that may have built up, and maybe a month or 2 months or even more can really show the benefits and just how great you can feel when you introduce the higher quality, higher nutritious superfoods that we can thrive on. So
and that's a story that I hear, where, and I think one of the things is that because in our society, when you start feeling your stomach is not feeling well, and you're feeling lethargic and all the things, you're minus energy and all that stuff, that no one's telling you, hey, try changing your diet, right. And that's one of the shortfalls in society, is that somebody needs to say, a doctor or a nutritionist or a dietitian or the government say, hey, if you
Right.
want to be healthier, you need to transition to a plant-based diet.
Right.
And like you said, at least try it, because I know that you said after a couple of weeks, you started feeling better. And that's what I tell the people that I speak with. Try it for a month.
Right.
And see how you feel. Let your body be your guide.
Right.
You know, instead
Right.
of thinking, oh, I'm going to do a cleanse and then I'm going to be okay. Because if
Right.
you still put the poison back in your body, maybe
Very
you'll
much
be
so.
okay for another week. And then as you build up, you know,
Yep.
the stuff
Yep.
and all the food, then it's just not good.
And I think it may take your body some time to crave the healthier foods once you can kind of get over letting go of the stuff that is poison to your body, that's not serving you, right? And that's a big challenge for anyone is grabbing the water instead of the sugary drink, and grabbing the salad instead of the cheeseburger. It's real, but you're building those within you, and eventually your body starts to recognize those, and you start craving those. For me now, I crave a variety of different fruits and vegetables and grains now, and I still have my potato chips and my French fries, but I try to keep those the 80-20 rule, if you will, compromised of the higher nutrition. Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that used to have soda at every meal, well, not breakfast, but lunch and dinner. If I didn't have my soda,
Right.
I was like, I can't deal with this. And now I'm just mainly either kombucha water or some vegan, one of my favorite colas, Fentimans. If you haven't tried it, Curiosity Cola.
No.
That's my favorite.
Okay, Curiosity Cola. I'm writing that
That's
down.
my favorite. But it was like I couldn't have my meal if I didn't have that. And it's like you said, is that you're so used to certain things. And I was just listening to Dr. Joel Furman in a video just this morning where he talked about how these foods actually make you crave it because it's poison in your body.
Right.
And it's like addictive, and you make it, so you start feeling like you got to have it. But if you just hold off, once your body gets rid of all that toxin, it's not going to want it.
Right.
It's just going to want the stuff that's going to make you healthier. And as you said, people think, oh, you can only have salad now from now on, or rice and beans, and that's it.
Right.
But you are open up to so many different types of foods that it's incredible.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep.
And now that we're talking about food, let me tell you why I'm excited that you're here, because I'm excited for you to talk about edible landscaping, food forests, and things of that nature.
Sure. Well, thank you. Yeah. So as I mentioned, so my story after turning to more of a plant-based diet, I figured, well, when COVID originally hit, we had the opportunity to take over a community garden where we live. And there's just 5 small garden beds and like 4 fruit trees around. And after having my kids involved with planting some tomatoes and eating from the garden, I really felt like, well, why not learn something new and try this out, right? Here I am, from other than really eating the plants, having no idea on how to care for them. I mean, my house plants would die all the time, stuff like that. But now I wanted to, so it just started with watching YouTube videos and having experience. I feel like one thing that I wanted to mention was that it was such a therapeutic experience for me. And I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough, because, if we're having some of our best experiences in nature, and when we really disconnect, and that's what's really kind of soothing us, well, if we have the room for it to be able to mimic that in any way, that does bring in different wildlife in the area, and that does bring more life to your own yard. And those are the real foods that as anyone probably could speak to, a strawberry straight from the garden or a tomato there's nothing, absolutely nothing that can touch it. And it goes straight from the branch to your, to your mouth. And so I had a great experience with just learning that. And I had been working for a company, doing well. But I felt like there was always something kind of like, you should be doing something that you really enjoy and that really kind of helps others. I felt like I kept being tugged in that direction. And so I had a great opportunity that opened itself up. Justin Roner and the Agriscaping team, they're a local team. They've been doing basically HOA compliant food forests for people's front and backyards, really showing them how, because with plants, they typically, they need their certain area. Maybe they like morning sun and afternoon shade. Well, maybe they like morning shade and afternoon sun, right? So if you can determine the different zones in most homes, I live here in Arizona now, we've condensed 24 different climates in an average front and backyard to 6 different climates. So that's how we help others. We show them through a consultation and like a Google image. We can do it remotely or show up at their home and do this consultation. We can determine the different a heat map, basically, the different cooler areas in your yard and the hotter spots. So we can then determine which of your favorite fruits and vegetables, Mrs. Jones, do you like to eat and do you enjoy? So then when we design their landscape, their edible landscape, we can take those different zones and come up with a design that fits with that layout.
So you're saying that in my yard right now, my yard and my front lawn. Yes. So they're within, even though this is a zone something or other, designated as zone 8 or something, that within my own home, that there is different zones in my yard because of the way the sun appears, whether morning or afternoon, or is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yep.
Wow.
Because if you look at it from a, let's say your property was facing south, your front yard was facing south, and you had the sun, more the winter horizon, right? So it would be a little bit lower. You would have longer shadows from your fruit trees in your front yard that you can then utilize as cooler shaded spots that would grow something that wouldn't prefer the full sun because it would kill it, obviously. Or when the sun goes back towards the west and is now on the left side of your home, it was heating up your wall the whole day, right? So now that's emitting that extra heat. So that area of your home would be a lot hotter. So that's where you could put your tropicals or your subtropicals, for example, or something that can be okay with that heat. So that's yes, there are 6 different zones. And if you can find out those zones, then the world of opportunity is really open, and it allows the creativity to flow and to build your own dream Garden of Eden, if you will, right in your front and backyard.
Wow. So. I've been trying to do that since I got here. And some years I get some stuff like tomatoes and chili peppers and even green beans. And other times I get nothing. And then I'll come back and then I'll get, again, a couple of things and then nothing. As a matter of fact, last week I came home telling my partner, John, hey, they had an apple tree out. I would like to have an apple tree in my front yard. And I said, but I didn't buy it because I don't want it to die. I need information.
You need information. Yep.
I do that.
Yeah. And no, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and it's very fascinating that what you just said, that I don't think many people know that you have different zones within your own geographical zone, because I guess when I've seen the maps, they'll go, California is this zone, Midwest, whatever, and whatever. And I didn't know that within my own yard, I can have any of those zones. And
you can create more zones, which is the beautiful part. Wow. So let's say you're in a zone 8, or so that understanding your zones, Nancy, now is allow you to go into a zone 5 or a zone 11. So you open up so many more opportunities the trick with that is just being a little bit organized, having you know, being a part of someone's newsletter that tells you on a weekly basis what plants to start indoors or what plants you should have ready to put out in your garden in these particular zones. And after that's done, it's only a one-time deal, right? Then you just let it go until it's ready to harvest. So, but the biggest thing obviously is having good soil. If you have the good soil, you're not going to have any troubles other than having the proper location. So soil, having proper soil, and then understanding the right locations, then that's when the magic really happens, and you can really expand upon, you know, you can have that experience of eating your own grapes and your fruit and everything right from your own yard, more so than just a tomato and a strawberry every once in a while. Yes.
I want to. I'm crying because I want to.
We'll take care of you. I'll take care of you.
I did sign up for your newsletter.
Okay.
So tell us your website, and so people can go and sign up or even contact you if they want help from you, which would be good.
So yes, of course. Thank you for the opportunity. So www.agriscaping.com is our website. We do consultations, but we're actually building something larger. So for your audience, if they're interested, we're trying to be able to do a consultation for anyone in the world, as well as have a team that's local to that community to be able to install the plants and even manage it on a weekly basis. So you can find out more information on how we're building these networks and these teams. But agriscaping.com would be a great place to look. For those of you who live in the Phoenix area, Queen Creek Botanical Gardens is a place that I also represent. And they just opened last year. It's an all edible botanical garden. And that actually acts as our showroom floor, if you will, on a larger scale to show people that you can have everything that you plant have an edible or herbal medicinal component to it, and have it look just as good as someone that spent hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on their landscaping. So it is possible to do. It just takes a little bit of understanding and getting connected with the right people to help you through that process.
Wow. And so that means that you would also help with community gardens?
Correct. Yep. So we, you know, we're not just traditional, obviously community raised beds you're going to have that in every home, but we also speak to vertical gardening. So you can have, like on the wall, you can have 3 to 4 rows to where it's just, you know, distance, there's no bending down or hurting your back. It's just eye level or right below. So you can really do some amazing, aesthetically pleasing flowers or even small herbs in those vertical beds. And then fruit trees are obviously amazing because you plant them once and you don't have to continue to, you know, rip them out and, you know, replant. So, but we're more than happy to walk people through the process. The consultation is the first step to understanding where those 6 zones are that we spoke about in your yard, your front and back. And then from that point, we can design with you your perfect garden. And then from that point, it's really up to you. Would you like us? We have a program. It's called the Family Assisted Build. We can have a certified master gardener that comes out to your property once a week for 1 hour. And over one full year, you will complete your backyard project with all of your favorite edibles. Or we can certainly just design it and build it for you as well. And where we design it and install it. And then there is one other option for those who like to feel like they can do it all themselves. They have the tools, they have the willpower. They can certainly sign up for our online education, and that walks them through unlimited, where they can search, you know, whatever they're looking to do. We have that online education for those do-it-yourselfers as well. So a little bit for everyone.
Wow.
In their journey.
That's amazing. So when you guys have a, you know, You remember that show, House Makeover, Garden Makeover?
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
apply.
Yes. We will keep you in mind. We're actually talking about utilizing some different marketing strategies. And that was actually one that came up, is to have those, show that bare bones backyard of
Like mine.
some family, and then show the picture a month later, what it looks like, or a year later, even with a drone footage view, even over an overhead view, I think would be super cool as well. So
Maybe you
yes.
guys, maybe you guys should propose that to a TV station, because I think that would be a great new program right now that we need, rather than, those other reality shows, taking
Right.
people's garden and
Right.
making them edible, and, doing community gardens all across the nation.
Right.
I think that would be awesome.
It's amazing. And I will leave this with you as well, because for most people, if they don't, something may deter them from even starting, right? And what I love to share this example. We have one lady in Mesa, which is only 15-20 minutes from here. We started a program that was intended on managing people's gardens for them, and then harvesting all of their extras, and then bringing it and selling it to the local food economy. So we can literally manage your property, sell it at a local farmer's market, and give you 20% of all the profits from your own garden. That's without you touching anything. So we literally have a lady who we designed her backyard to produce a lot of fruit and vegetables. She did so. She did so well, she was able to buy the neighbor's house. Now she Airbnbs the neighbor's house and utilizes that neighbor's backyard, and now has doubled her garden in size, and she's retired. So there are ways to be able to have it, maintained for you without you touching a finger, and still use it as a bargaining tool, or even another stream of income. So it exists.
Wow, that is awesome. See,
Right.
I knew I was excited to have you on the show for a reason.
Thank you, Nancy. We made it. We made it happen.
Food that comes from the earth is what we need. And that's what you guys are providing us, the know-how and the help to do so. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, we do our best.
Well, thank you so much, Michael, for being on the show. And I will have links and connections to all your information for our viewers to have access to, so that they can reach out to you, look at your website, and hopefully grow gardens.
That's what we want. We would love it. We'd love to help, no matter what part of the journey that you are in currently. So thank you, Nancy, so much for having me on.
And again,
let's do it again soon.
And again, just so that my viewers know, you can help people all over the country, because you could do it online. You could.
Yes, we're currently in 17 different states. And what we're looking to do is make connections with local master gardeners, as well as local landscapers, that we can then combine them to be certified on how to do the edible landscaping, integrated with the help of the local gardeners. So we're looking to scale this to where it can be done all over the world. And this is a true sense of community in every sense of the word, when you are providing your neighbors with extra nutritious food. And it just shows that extra level of, hey, these people do care about me. And no matter how bad things get, we know that there's a lot of talk right now about food scarcity. And this is the way. We need food, water, shelter to really thrive. And if we can, do this the right way, there's certainly room for us all to live in abundance and to help one another. So
awesome. And just one last note, and you do this without toxic chemicals in the ground.
Correct. A lot of it's going to be just utilizing companion plants. So companioning different plants together have tremendous effects, not only with insects, but also the little bunnies and other animals that want to come in and take all of your good food. So there are ways to do it, of course, without we want this to be 100% organic and just utilizing the proper methods to make it work.
Great. I had to get that in there. So I'll say bye again, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. I appreciate it, Nancy. Bye now.
Thank you for joining us on the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. Please like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our website. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. Live vegan.